Hello there, YouTube people. Yeah. Know how I said about videos maybe decreasing? If anyone saw that, well, if you can hear my cough, they still may well be. But that's not the main point. The main point is one of the things got sort of fixed. Things worked out better with my girlfriend than I thought, so that is one sort of thing out of the way, which is good. And yeah, I figured I would, and before I look like a hipster any more than I already do with these damn things on still, even though it's daytime, not nighttime when I'm making this. Um, as I look like I'm pretty tired and fall asleep till like late last night, but yeah, so things worked out better with her than I thought they would, which is kind of good, I guess. But the thing is, there's gonna be a lot of that. Well, I'll start like this. Game Freak, you finally did it. You know, it's about damn time that something revealed those new megas. I knew Mega Salamence was becoming eventually because, well, gee, Mega Metagross and him go kind of hand in hand. And Mega Altaria, well, I won't say I called it right along because I really did. I said to myself, the damn thing doesn't even look like a dragon. I'm in a way appalled they even kept the dragon typing in a sense, but in a way, Dragon Fairy is a cool typing at the same time, so I can kind of understand. And the hype around that thing, I mean, given you have 4 weaknesses only. I mean, granted, before you technically only had 4 as well, so you basically just you lose Rock, and obviously you lose Dragon because you're part Fairy, and you gain Poison and Steel. But you keep Ice and what's the other one? Wow, I can't even think of what it is. Ice, Poison, Steel. Actually, that might be it. That is, I think that is it. And wait, Fairy. So you lose 2, you gain 2, but in the end, if it's tanky enough Altaria, that is, it's not going to matter. And here's the thing. Pixelate is an absolutely ridiculous ability, as shown by Mega Gardevoir. Mega Gardevoir showcases how perfectly that ability can make any fairly obscure Pokemon, along with a bit of a special attack buff, go from fairly low tier, I think RU or NU, to freaking OU status. Mega Gardevoir is very good, and I have a sneaking suspicion Mega Altaria will follow in the same path. My suspicion is it'll gain a buff to its defense, about 25 or 30, something like that. Special attacks could go up by quite a bit, probably like 45 or so. And I don't know where they distribute the other 20 or so points. I'm not even sure anymore. Maybe special defense, maybe attack for all I know. I don't know. I'm sure they're going to keep it fairly slow, though. It's going to be like a very good tank is my prediction for it. Because, I mean, just looking at it, like, it doesn't look that fast. I mean, it's covered in that, still that giant cloud. The cloud just got even bigger, which is equals. You're not going to be able to move too quick with that kind of weight around you. So that's the thing. Mega Altaria is cool, and honestly I predicted that right along. I mean, yeah, if I've ever talked about Megas in the past videos, I've said this. This was quite a few, probably 5, 6, I don't know how many videos back now, but I said Altaria needs a Mega that's Dragon Fairy. Again, though, in a way, it doesn't look like a dragon. It looks too pacifistic. In my mind, it should have been normal Fairy, but that would make it kind of like Wigglytuff status, even with stat buffs. It just would not be as good, I think. Dragon Fairy is a really cool typing. And then Mega Lopunny, well. But first, let's go back to the Mega Destruction train that is Mega Salamence. That thing, you're fucking suspecting Mega Mawile. Let me tell you something right now. You don't suspect Mega Salamence the instant it comes out, Smogan, I lose literally any faith I have left in you. Because Mega Salamence is likely going to be obscene. Unless it is a special attacker. But even then, for those who are unaware, I do believe, and I've yet to confirm, but I am almost 100% beyond a reasonable doubt certain that Salamence... Why do I have my other phone? Wow, I must be losing it. Wrong phone. Okay. So, we're going to check real quick. What Pokemon did I just say? Salamence, that's right. Salamence. The second thing in Google search is Mega Evolution. You gotta be kidding me. Fantastic. I want Cerebi. There we go. Now I'm almost 100% certain this thing gets Hyper Voice. And if it does, I've seen predictions. People are like, it's going to be a special attacker. For a myriad of reasons why people think this, but I could maybe see it. I mean, because its arms do get a little more stubby, so it may not have as much physical prowess. I can understand that. But even then, does the damn thing not get Hyper Voice? Really? Nope, it does. Via transfer. Now, people, actually, I'll confirm it right now, just to show everyone. Now, everyone see that? Up on the, what is it, fourth one down? Right below Heatwave? Kids, that's Hyper Voice. And if the thing is a special attacker with Aerialate and it gets Hyper Voice, that is horrifying. Because if it goes up by about 25 points special attack, 30 points, and gets to like 135, 140, that thing is going to be a ginormous threat. Not to mention if it gets like even a 15 or 20 point buff to its attack as well. I'm almost thinking it'll do a Mega Garchomp bullshit. Because really, people know how powerful Garchomp was, let's face it, to begin with. Look what they did with speed, but look how fucking sky high its attack stat went. Now, if they do this with the hell's on my floor? If they do this with Mega Mence, they would have to give it, I hate to say it, they'd have to give it a paltry base 90 speed. Because if you didn't, and you buff its attacks like 150, 155, maybe even 160, and you buff its special attacks like 130, 135, and it has fucking Aerialate with its move pool, that's ridiculous. It's completely and utterly ridiculous. And the only thing that would keep it balanced is if it does retain Dragon Flying, like they say, which I personally highly question. Because people who've seen its art already will realize it looks like it has metal around it, which to me could imply Dragon Steel. And if that's the case, even without a flying typing to back up Aerialate, it's not as threatening, yeah. But with the boost to its attack stats, if it does theoretically get those boosts, it doesn't matter. If it's Dragon Flying, still forget, they definitely have to nerf its speed. If it's Dragon Steel and they did change that for some reason, they made it that type, you could get away with keeping it 100. You could probably get away with it. But if you keep it Dragon Flying, and the other good part, you would have dropped the speed 90, like I said. And the good part would be, too, at least Stealth Rocks would still kind of maim it a little bit. Because it would be, if Smogon, I swear, like I said before, if you don't suspect that damn thing, the second it comes out, especially if it is Dragon Flying, you literally are not thinking. You're suspecting Mega freaking Mawile. There are people who moan and bitch about, if I hear this 50-50 crap once more, Pokemon is a 50-50 game. I want people to get this through your thick heads. Pokemon is a 50-50 game. See? 5-0-5-0. Okay? Understand me? Alright, good. Now, if you don't want to fucking predict, then don't play. People are so lazy these days that I swear they lose the ability to do that. Like, not all people. A lot of people, though. And the thing is, that's partly why people say, oh, 50-50s. That's a fancy way of saying I didn't want to predict. That's a load of horse shit. You don't want to predict on 8/Slasher's King Shield? That's one of its main shticks. That's its little niche. That's what it did. You couldn't deal with that, then you shouldn't be playing OU, as far as I'm concerned. It wasn't that hard to play around, honestly. The Subtoxics had a little more, I understand, like I've said that in the past, with Shadow Ball and King Shield. And that could be a real bitch. I understand that. And that was only with the advent of some of these subset foolishness, I think, too. Because then I saw a few sets that had sub and I think maybe even weakness policy with, like, Shadow Ball, Sacred Sword, and, like, King Shield. I understand that to an extent. Those make a little more sense to why people complain. Because I can see That would be worse than a mind game. That'd be ridiculous. But at the same time, it's like, Jesus, people. You know what a concept? Predicting in a game that's meant to, have prediction. Mega Mobile, the only logic I could even remotely see is that, yeah, you get a free sword this on the field. It's a little cheap. But, I mean, it's just... I mean, I don't really understand. It doesn't... It's so horrendously slow. Without Trick Room, it literally, or like without T-Wave support or some kind of paralysis support, it has no form of speed, like at all. It has to rely on Sucker Punch to mitigate said speed. And if you're something powerful like a Bisharp, and you switch in after it decimates something, you're easily going to live a Sucker Punch because you 2 times resist it. And you're going to hit that thing with a Life Orb Iron Head. And if it has taken a little bit of prior damage, I think 30% or more, it's dead. Like, I don't understand why people moan and complain. And then if it's still regular Mobile and things it can set up or people forget, they'll intimidate your Bisharp, and guess what happens? You get freaking free Sword Dance. So people want to moan about free Sword Dances, well, guess what? You just gave a Bisharp a free one, so shut up. Now, that's the thing. But again, I also can see the side a little bit where huge power is a very overpowering, no pun intended, ability. But Mawile, as far as I'm concerned, needed that boost and that boon this generation because it sucked gigantically. Let's face it, it was not that good. Even the NU wasn't that good. It was okay. It could function as like a mixed wall breaker with wow, I'm not used to having those glasses there. She or he, whatever Mawile is, it because it obviously can be both, but it just like Fire Blast. It could run a variety of mixed moves, but the thing is, it had no real niche for itself. Now it does. It shatters Stall in 100,000 pieces. And I guarantee everyone here, part of this, and I know it's turned to a Mega Mawile sort of rant a little bit, but this is because it sort of branched off Mega Salamence. Now, the thing is that, because if they don't suspect it when it first comes out, because of the fact, like, after 2 or 3 weeks in the metagame, if they don't, like, suspect it, like, honestly, again, if it retains Dragon Flying and you don't, then they're crazy. They're absolutely crazy. Because it'll be like, and you get a Moxie boost off the bat, then you Mega up in a Megamence. You have Aerialate well, not in theory, you do have Aerialate. And in theory, it's still a Dragon Flying typing. You're going to wreck shop. Imagine a return coming off a theoretical base 160 or 170 attack stat with +1. People think Mega Pinsir's terrifying. The only thing Mence would likely lack is priority. If they get priority, it better be instantly banned. Because there's no reason. Salamence should be banned. So it'd be ironic. Salamence would take another trip back to Ubers, just like in 5th Gen. Except, he would be going with, just as Megastone would be going. Mence would be staying probably BL or OU. Salamence, no way. Nope. And back to Mega Mawile. The thing is that, and this is my opinion, again, my opinion, people who moan, whine, and bitch when they play Stall are likely moaning because of Sub Punch Mega Mawile. Or because of maybe even Sword Dance Mega Mawile. Because guess what it does? It takes your Stall, it turns it on its head, and it pops it. It literally pops it like a giant zit. So deal with it. I'm so sick of people with little Stall babies. Wah, wah, wah. Go cry about it. I don't like Stall. I openly admit that. I hate the style. I hate the play style. I despise it with a passion. But the thing is, because it's boring, it's slow, it doesn't go anywhere. A battle can take like 55, 60, 65 turns. That's a waste. Unless you're fighting a good opponent or someone you genuinely enjoy battling, that's a waste of fucking time, in my opinion. I've had some 9,500 turn battles, and I wouldn't trade those for the world because, I remember that it happened. A couple of them happened last year, and they were intense. Some of the most intense I've ever had, and they were best of 3, and I ended up losing. And this was in Gen 5 RU, and I got toppled. My regenerators lost to another duo of regenerators at the end. That's what the irony that it ended up happening that way. It was just funny to me. But something like that I wouldn't trade for anything. But the thing is, what pisses me the fuck off is that these people who play full Stall, not balanced, not quote unquote pseudo Stall, or like sit balance, because balance is much different than stall, and or hyper offense, or just whatever. At least those styles have a lot of interesting points. Stall is just what's interesting. What do you? You're literally sitting there stalling. What is interesting about that? I'm sorry, I don't quite place. And yes, honestly, not only do I despise the style, but I woke up a bit ago, so I'm a bit salty as is, because I got like 6 hours sleep. But the point is that style is just, no. And Mega Mall, and I guarantee you, like I said, some of the people moaning, not all of them, but a few of them, at least, are people who went, oh, my style team got Puppet Mega Mall, oh, go cry about it. You know what? Go frickin' moan and bitch about it somewhere else. Someone actually gives a damn. Doesn't. You know what? Just suck it up, honestly. Sorry, but you know what? Lately I've had some things happen that made me a little bit cold inside, and I have no patience for people who whine and bitch about a Pokemon that you should be prepared to face. And then people say, well, how do you prepare? It has no counters. It creates me 50-50s. Then you don't play Pokemon. If you don't have enough brain cells in your head to think and figure that out, don't play the damn game. Because I'm a little sick of it. And it's like that with a lot of games, too. I think it really is. It tends to be like that with, I think, in Yu-Gi-Oh! Probably even, I've heard a few League of Legends stories. I'm getting so sick of it. Like, if people don't want to predict or think about what they're doing, don't play. That's the point. The point of games, at least should be to have fun. Should be. But there is a little thinking and strategy involved in a lot of games. If you don't want to think, don't play it. Jesus. It's asinine to even assume that, oh, I'm not going to predict anything. Hello? What? Like, what do you think you're... I don't get it. And I'm sorry, some people don't think these points are valid, but guess what? They are. If you actually stop and think for 5 seconds. Because, you know, it's, and I missed what's in 2 parts, 17 minutes already, wow. But it's like, I just can't explain it. Like, how, I mean, if you're going to play Alomomola, Ferrothorn, Heatran, what's it called? Whatever Walls guy had, Quagsire, and then once your Quagsire is gone and your Alomomola weakened, you don't expect your team to get popped by a Mega Mawile if you're running stall? You're an idiot. Because, oh, this was this guy's reasoning. Oh, you hid behind a sub. Well, if you don't, if you don't want to think around that and have, well, I don't know, maybe roar on your Heatran, that's not my damn problem. Prick me to sub, bring in your Tran, and then, or whatever, already have your Tran in, try and prick my switch to Mawile every time because you know it's a fucking sub puncher, and then you, like, roar it out right when it sets up a sub. That way it can't do that, and you start hazard stacking and you try and kill me the correct way. If you're going to play stall, at least try and kill the damn thing that's threatening your team with, like, hazards or whatever, instead of complain after the battle and be like, oh, you're a noob, you're this, you're that. It's like, shut your damn mouth. Because you can't think enough to have a strategy for this. I understand it has hardly any counters. That's fine. That's acceptable. I get it has a few checks. It does. A few dedicated checks that I can think of off the top of my head, which I'll list in probably another part to this. And also repeated switchings to spikes and stealth rock it doesn't like that much either because it's its HP stats rather miserable. But like I said, if that was the excuse for the age/banning, that was the excuse for, well, the potential Mega Mawile banning. And guess what? I have news for people. Like I said, Mega Salamence is going to be OP. That much I can predict. I don't know how OP, but I know it'll be OP. And again, if it maintains Dragon Flying and it has Aerial 8, bottom line is suspect that fucker, please. Jesus, it's gonna just. I know I seem a bit amped too, but that's only because people who play stall and then moan when they lose, it's like, do you not expect a dedicated stall breaker? The entire point of why a lot of people run Mega Mawile is to shatter stall because they don't like it, and because they think it drags out games, and it does. So, again, I'm sorry you don't really deal with it. Whoever that crybaby was I battled, deal with it in therapy. I don't really care. I don't, honestly, because you have no right to moan. Some people, it's just like, they get so salty. Well, it's like, guess what? A, decent game. B, if you can't anticipate what pokes people use from the usage, then that's your own fault and your own problem. And, think about that when building your team, whether it be stall, balance, hyper offense, or pseudo stall. That's not my issue. That's not. So yeah, and that applies to all tiers too, not just OU. Although lately a lot to OU, considering how many damn things are suspecting. But and that's quite a butt ton. But yeah, I mean, so anyway, like I said, Mega Mence, bottom line, going to be very powerful. Mega Altaria is just going to be cool. Again, it needed the upgrade, it needed a lot of things, and, you know, et cetera, et cetera. It's very good, you know, and it'll probably get better, which is nice for it. Again, it's just really nice. And Mega Lopunny, I didn't really give my opinion, and I really don't even know what the hell they're going to call its Megastone, because, honestly, Lopunnyite, what? But, anyway, I may and likely will make a second part to this, whether it be today, whether it be right after this, or later on today, tonight, whatever. Depends what my girlfriend has planned, etc., etc. Part of me, actually, I'm not glad she doesn't necessarily like pokes, but she knows the first 150, so that works for me. But some of this competitive stuff lately is grinding my gears. That they're just, let's just suspect all the things. That's a phenomenal idea, you witless wonders. Anyway, but yeah. Although it is funny in my head, I was jokingly saying it, the little suspect Mega Mawile and Mega Pinsir next. I was joking. Like, why must my predictions be so on? I don't like that when they're not good. So, but yeah. Like, so I'll probably make another part on Mega Lopunny and some other stuff. So, yeah. This is MD865, and, yeah, I'm out.